Greetings, it's naturopath Eric Backer from New Zealand. I'm author of a book called Candida Crusher, and I'm also the formulator of a range of dietary supplements called CanZita. Thanks for checking out my video today. I've got an email question here from a lady called Ruth Hewitt in Essex in the UK. And Ruth's wanting for me to explain about any relationship with the environment and her continuation of her yeast infection. So Ruth mentions in her email that she's been unwell for quite a number of years. They bought an old house which they renovated, and she's been quite unwell and getting increasingly unwell since the renovation. So she wants me to give her a few hints and tips on environment and Candida. Okay, Ruth, well, I can do that. In fact, this video is going to be a little bit expanded on that topic, and I'm going to talk about the 10 reasons, or the 10 environmental reasons why people often don't fully recover from a Candida yeast infection. Some of these reasons will have to do with your inner environment, some of the external environment. So let's go through this list. Well, a common one, which I see and hear a lot about from people, is mold in your environment. Mold is going to be a whole new topic on a video. I might do a few videos on mold and leaky building syndrome and mold and Stachybotrys and different kinds of molds, how they can infect people. So molds really like cold, sort of moist environments. I like warm, moist environments. I like moisture, and they often get into houses and will grow on wallpaper, grow on walls, or grow on carpets, or grow around windows. And particularly when certain kinds of work has been completed on houses, your renovations may be leaking somewhere. You may have some mold, for example, from the old building that was covered up and it's still growing in the walls. It's quite common actually for that to occur. So the mold spores get released into the air, and we can actually breathe them in, and they can cause coughing, they can cause all kinds of problems. Particularly important for people with Candida to be aware of mold, because mold can really affect your immune system bad. If your immune system is already affected in terms of a compromised gut, you maybe have taken medications or be on medications which could affect or compromise your immune system, and then these little bits of mold spores floating in the air can really affect you bad. So if you notice a cough, if you're going into certain rooms, you're getting a lot of nasal problems or itching or a flare-up of symptoms, be very careful. Typical places where you'll find mold will be in the kitchens and in the bathroom. You could have it around garbage cans, around compost bins. And I'm going to do a whole video on this, as I mentioned, and particularly about the refrigerator and mold. I'm pretty fussy about my fridge, how it's got to be really clean all the time. So mold in your environment, check it out. It could be a problem. You can actually get an expert in to check the house out for mold. I think it might be worth it in your case, Ruth, definitely to do that. Mold in your inner environment, of course, is affected by mold in the outer environment. So are you exercising yet? That's another one. Well, this has got a little bit more to do with the inner environment, but exercising to me is an environmental thing. Might be hard for you to understand that, but I like people to have a very powerful inner environment. And many people have got a weak inner environment because they get too stressed out, they don't exercise enough, they don't get good circulation, and this can really hinder their recovery. There's too much focus on diet and nutrition and taking supplements when it comes to Candida, but not enough focus on the inner environment. So by the inner environment, I mean I like people to have a very healthy, strong, vibrant body in general, because people with Candida aren't aware that they are actually a sitting duck for many different kinds of diseases. Candida yeast infections have been linked up now to many different chronic illnesses. So when you've got a strong body, you'll have a strong immune system, which means you'll counter any kind of imbalance or overgrowth. Even if you go for walking for a couple of miles per day, it's going to be a lot better than doing nothing. So that's number 2. Are you exercising yet? Cultivate your inner environment. Create a strong, healthy, vibrant body. And the third one, are you sleeping yet? Many people I see don't sleep properly. So again, you can't have a good inner environment with poor sleep function. Sleep is critical to get plenty of deep sleep. It's proven now that you need minimum of 6 to 8 hours per day. People will sometimes tell you they can get by on 3 or 4 hours, but you end up incurring a sleep debt. You can't keep doing that. So if you do only get a few hours sleep at night, you need to get more sleep in the afternoon. So sleep is very important for creating what we call a healthy diurnal rhythm. Sleep will facilitate the repair of a lot of tissues of our body that have been affected by disease. People with Candida need plenty of sleep. So you need to try at all means to cultivate a good sleep cycle. Read my articles on sleep at yeastinfection.org, or check out some of my videos, because I'm sure I will have made some videos on sleep. If you've got poor sleep, you might as well forget recovery, because it's not going to happen. Are you laughing yet? Comedy is one of the best things you can do. So I love stand-up comedians, and I like laughing, and I always look at ways to enjoy my life and to laugh about stupid, ridiculous things. Having a sense of humour is very, very important, and it also has proven to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. People who are stressed and strung out often don't laugh because they feel they've got nothing to laugh about. But people who do laugh and enjoy themselves tend to have much quicker recovery phases. There was a very good book written by a guy called Norman Cousins, Anatomy of an Illness, about how he had an incurable disease, and when he got put into hospital, started watching a lot of videos on movies that made him laugh so much he had to get moved to a private room. And he recovered quite well, and he went on to write a book about it. It's called Anatomy of an Illness. It's highly recommended for anyone with a chronic disease. Comedy is great. And why do you think they say laughter is the best medicine? It certainly is a great medicine. Hidden infections is another one. Do you have any hidden infections? I've spoken about this on previous videos. So, diseased teeth, or what we call a hidden focal infection. You may have a problem there with a little bit of bacteria build up inside the digestive system. Around the appendix, around the ileocecal valve, the valve connecting the small to the large intestine. So we call these hidden focal infections, and they can often prevent recovery. Many people have got some small, tiny patch of infection somewhere in the body that remains a smouldering problem. It's almost like a little tiny bit of fire in a forest somewhere that's smouldering away, waiting for the opportunity to spring out into a full-blown, raging, forest fire. And it can happen with humans as well. So there are different ways you can measure this in the blood. So by getting a full blood workup done, there are different markers that will tell you if you've got some kind of an immune problem. So it's certainly well worth doing. If you're not recovering, is to get checked out for a hidden infection. It could be viral, could be a parasite, could be bacterial, could be a toxin. It could be something there that's preventing recovery. The next one, work-play balance. Are you relaxing enough? We all know the importance of working, but I had a consultation with a patient from New York City only a few days ago who was working 12-hour days. And I said, do you have a break for lunch? No, I eat over the computer. And I said, well, what do you do at night time? He said, well, I come home, have dinner, then I go back on the computer. Well, that's not really a work-play balance, is it? And this poor guy's in his 40s, he can't recover, he's sick. And I said, well, it might be important for you to back off work a bit and take some time out. Oh, I can't do that. Well, when you can't do that, it means that you don't really prioritize your recovery. So you need to prioritize your recovery by looking at different areas of your life where there's imbalance. And if you've got a work-play imbalance, you need to really understand that no matter how good your diet is or how well you exercise, if you don't have sufficient rest and sleep, you will not recuperate. End of. Next one. Diet. Are you a dietary extremist? I've done a video on this recently. Are you a person who says my way is the highway? Some people basically are what I call the diet police. Everything they eat is perfect, and they're picking on other people all the time, their partners or friends or relations, and they seem to think that the diet is the main focus on recovery. I've seen way too many videos on everything, diet, and there's no talk about anything else but diet. Diet remains a very important part of the work I do with people, but I can tell you now it is not the main reason why people don't recover. Okay? Now I can say that based on thousands of people I've seen over many years. You can think whatever you want to think. When you've seen as many people as I have, you realize that diet's important, but it's not the overriding factor for recovery. It's the balance. It's all these things I'm talking about. It's your mold in the environment. It's how happy you are. It's how much you exercise, how much you relax, how well you breathe. All of the combination of these factors make for a speedy recovery. Diet is one of the pillars of many different support columns for good health. It's not the main shaft that holds the whole building up. So I want you to try and get that out of your mind. Don't become a diet extremist. And you'll annoy a lot of people around you too by doing that, by the way. Are you living or working under stressful conditions? This is an important one. And again, this comes back to the work-play balance. Do you like your life? Are you having a good time? Do you enjoy your job? Do you enjoy relationships with people around you? Maybe somebody pisses you off. Maybe you don't really like your partner, or you hate living with the kids, or the neighbour's annoying the heck out of you, or your sister-in-law annoys you, or your mother-in-law drives you crazy. These things need resolving. If you've got these underlying stress issues with people going on for weeks and months and years in your life, how the hell can you recover? You've got this continual thought pattern going on in your mind that's draining your energy, that's increasing low-grade long-term stress, that's suppressing your adrenal function, that's suppressing your immune function, that's creating sleep dysfunction, it's creating energy problems. And you want to recover, and you can't understand why you can't recover when you hate someone's guts? Think about it carefully. You need to get this sorted, one way or the other. There are 3 things you can do in these stressful situations you may be aware of. You can adapt, you can adjust, or you can walk away from that person. But you need to get it resolved. It's critical. If you don't like your boss, fire your boss. Get another boss. Or be your own boss like me. You call the shots, okay? Next one. Are you taking too many or the wrong kind of dietary supplements? Some patients I see take 30, 40, 50 different kinds of supplements. What a crazy thing to do. This is a lot of stress for the body, for the inner environment of the body. People are sometimes amazed when they show me boxes of things and I say, look, just stop all that stuff for now. And they say, well, I can't do that because I'm taking this one for my joints, I'm taking this one for my sleep, I'm taking this one for my allergies, I'm taking this one for my brain, I'm taking this one for... And I say, well, how about we take a holiday from all this junk and just dump it all, you know? Some people spend thousands of dollars a month on junk. All you need are 1 or 2 carefully chosen supplements. You don't need a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Remember, the supplements are a very small but very integral and important part of recovery, but they're not the main focus on recovery, okay? They're crucial, I believe, to increase what I call the tipping point, or to push you over the fence towards recovery, but they're not going to push you up to get you on top of the fence, okay? That's what you've got to do yourself through all of the things we've just spoken about, all right? So the inner environment is important, the outer environment is important. And the supplements are just that icing on the cake. I don't care if what kind of supplements you buy. I created a couple of supplements mainly because I see so many people, and I got so sick and tired of people taking junk. And after being in the industry for nearly 30 years, I thought it's time to make something premium. I've been formulating products for companies for many years now, but now I'm going to start to formulate products specifically for my patient base. So check out Canxida, that's C-A-N-X-I-D-A, canxida.com, and check out my range. All you need are a couple of things. I'm building 4 products to make up what I believe the ultimate Candida protocol. All you need is an antifungal product, antibacterial, antiparasite, so it's got to have 3 actions. You need to have a good probiotic enzyme formula, so you need to get those both in one supplement. And you need a good multi, specifically designed for gut problems. And this is a very special product I'm working on right now. It's already taken me many months to formulate this. Canxida Remove, Canxida Restore, Canxida Rebuild. And I've also just created a product called Canxida Cream, which is going to be a fantastic product for people with any kind of skin rash problem, jock itch or vaginal issues, tinea versicolor, any kind of problem on the exterior part of the body. You can just put this on there. It's not used internally vaginally, but people can use it on the vulva externally. They can use it around the scrotum or the private parts. It's going to prove to be quite a nice product. So those 4 things make up a fantastic a range of products for people with Candida. And that's basically all you need. You don't need a ton of stuff, right? So don't waste a whole bunch of thousands of dollars a month on supplements that are ineffective. You don't need them. So let's recap on the main reasons why people don't recover in terms of their environment. The quality of the air you breathe, we've already spoken about. So the mold, you need to have fresh air all the time. You can't live in moldy, damp environments. Not going to happen. You need to keep your body healthy and strong and vibrant by exercising regularly. And you choose the form of exercise to suit you, and you need to do it on a regular basis. You need to get your sleep really good. With poor sleep is poor recovery. With great sleep is a lot of energy, good recovery. The endocrine glands, or the hormone glands in particular, need lots of sleep, and they basically control everything about the body. Laughing and breathing. Okay, laughing and enjoying life is very important. I didn't have a chance to talk about the breathing. We're going to do some videos on breathing. Hidden infections. Do you have any dental problems? Do you have any low-grade pains in the gut that could signify, small kinds of infections around the bowel or the valve or in different areas? If you've got any kind of infections or pain, get a blood workup done or a stool test done. Work-play balance. Have you got that sorted? Are you working too hard, or are you relaxing too hard? Maybe you're not working enough. Are you the diet police? Don't be the diet police. All right? Don't take diet too seriously. Are you working or living under stressful conditions? Think about that. What's your working environment like? And are you taking too many or the wrong kind of supplements? So, Ruth from Essex, I hope that answers your question a bit about environment and Candida. All right. As I mentioned, I'm going to do some subsequent videos on many of these other topics to sort of drill down on more information. But I hope that gives you enough today. Please subscribe to my channel if you're still watching after 16 minutes. Please subscribe because I enjoy making these kind of videos. Check out yeastinfection.org. Make sure you do my yeast infection quiz at you'll find that on a few sites. I think yeastinfection.org still got that quiz on there. Check out my canzida.com channel. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.